closer to the world. My whole life was like a picture of a sunny day. My whole life was like a picture of a sunny day.
Do you want me to read the whole book? Okay, so sorry, what'd you say? You said I pronounced clitoris wrong? Read it. Oh, you want me to read it sexier?
She managed to book a session with John Goodmanson.
I spent the recording advance on a riding lawnmower with a built-in stereo system. Whose tweezers are these? I asked. Right, yeah, Hunger Makes Me a Modern Girl by Carrie Bradshaw.
Let's get into it then. Let's get started because we're gonna make it short and sweet, and it's gonna be, just like a punk rock song. Short and
Epic,
sweet.
man.
All right.
Epic.
All right. Go ahead, Aaron or Lise. Get it off.
Okay.
The book's pretty short anyway, so yeah, it'll be pretty short and sweet.
Right.
Welcome to YUH with Lisa, Phil, and Aaron. This week we are joined by Admin Thea once again. Thank you, Thea, for joining us. And we are
Hello.
the book Hunger Makes Me a Modern Girl by Carrie Brownstein. She's well known for
Portlandia,
uh-huh,
and she's a guitarist in the band Sleater-Kinney.
which I have actually been enjoying the music. Yeah.
So welcome, Thea.
So, mhm.
Hi, thanks everybody. Glad to be back. Happy to be back. It's been a little while, but I'm excited.
Yeah,
So
we missed
yeah,
you.
no. Yeah, thank you. No, this
Yeah.
is great. This is great. Work has just been really busy, and navigating through some health shit. So,
Yeah, I'm
but
glad to hear you're
we're-
feeling a little better.
yeah, I'll go into details with you guys off the air. But yeah, no, I'm doing really well. I'm happy to be back. I've missed your faces. Sorry, y'all aren't going to see my faces this week. I spent all of Friday. I am the vice president of my employer's women's resource group. We're called Women's Impact Network. And Friday was International Women's Day. And it was a huge event. And our president handled it at our main corporate site, and I handled it at our second largest corporate site in Littleton, Colorado. So I was like running the whole show and everything, and it was a lot of fun and absolutely exhausting, but such amazing soul food and just a great time.
Awesome.
Cool.
Of course,
Okay.
if we want to get a blast of Thea in the interim in between her appearances here, you can always go to Rock and Roll Heaven podcast, where she
Yep.
adds her magic to some of her segments.
Mhm.
On that
Cue
show.
the airy fairy bell magic
Yeah.
tune here.
Admin Thea's not dead yet.
Right.
Nope.
Right.
Eventually we're going to get another episode of that up there. It's just been kind of crazy with life and everything. So
Got ya.
Yep. We know about that.
You did mention you recently cut off 3 feet of hair. Did you
Yes.
donate it?
no, unfortunately I didn't. It was colored.
Oh, okay. Oh, there is a site that takes donated colored hair.
Oh, really?
Yes, but I can't. I think it's pan something. I want to say.
Well, please
yeah,
get me
I'll
that
find out.
info.
Yeah, because I know that the site. If you still have the hair, I mean,
No, I
know-
don't.
Oh, okay. Well,
But
for
my
future
hair grows fast. Yeah, my hair grows
Yeah.
fast because I'm
Mine does
I'm
too.
terrible at girling. And in another year and a half, I'll have another 3 feet of hair that I'll need to hack off. And then I would love to be able to donate it because I do color it.
It's a pan or something pan, but I can't remember. But
You'll get it for me.
Yeah, I know when I always cut off hair, I keep it. I have them do the little ponytail thing, and I keep the ponytail.
That's
So
a good idea.
Yeah, and I did. But I keep wanting to say Panasonic, but that does not make sense. So I will
No
find out.
worries. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Well, so this was my turn at the Between the Covers theme, which is
Mhm.
our book club.
Yeah.
And I went off the grid a little bit. I think everyone who's done it previously has selected a book that they've read, wanted to share, liked the book, had insight going into it. And so I mixed it up a little bit. I chose, first of all, I enjoy reading history and biography more than I do fiction. So I wanted to find something that was nonfiction. And I wanted to find someone that I knew very little bit about so I could enjoy learning about somebody and somebody that I liked on, from what I do know
From
about them.
something that
Yeah.
you do know.
And I was a fan of Portlandia,
Mhm.
and I liked Carrie Brownstein on that. She seemed, very approachable and, just seemed like a really cool girl, and then I'd heard a little bit of Sleater-Kinney, but not enough to really call myself a fan or anything. So it was kind of an exploration for me as well. So I wanted, if you guys will indulge me for a minute, I'd like to play a little bit of a passage that she read on another podcast of her book, a short passage, but one that I thought was notable, just to set the tone and give you an idea of the type of writer she is, because I think she's also a very good writer. So,
Do it.
all right.
And yeah, she said I was okay. Yeah, I was too young. Okay. I still didn't want to give up or let go. It didn't seem fair. I felt like this might be my only chance to be in a band, a real band. So I did what any teenager or girl would do. I wrote a letter wherein I compared myself to the Red Hot Chili Peppers guitarist, John Frusciante. Frusciante had joined the Chili Peppers when he was 18 or 19. And even though he was a genius guitar player, a true wunderkind, and I only knew a few coupled chords, I felt like the comparison just might work. Not only was I likening myself to a virtuoso guitarist, but I was also displaying gumption and guts. At least that's what I thought. I would charm my way into this band, if not with my J. Crew outfits, then with savvy. Unfortunately, I didn't end the letter there. Instead, I bared my soul. As in the letters I had written to soap stars and teenage heartthrobs in elementary school and junior high, I told Elizabeth about my entire life, how I didn't get along with my parents, about my mom leaving, the whole maudlin story. People think that the digital age and social networking sites like Facebook and Twitter nurture oversharing. But in 1992, there was nothing stopping me from treating any piece of paper like a personal diary. I wanted so badly to be taken to some special place, to be asked into a secret club that would transform my life. I felt like music was that club. And to see inside for a moment and then be asked to leave was devastating. During the next few months, I occasionally ran into Elizabeth at Seattle shows and music festivals like 1077's N-Fest. She was always kind to me, but I had clearly become a pest. Later, when I knew what it felt like to carry the weight of your fans' aspirations, I would remember the way Elizabeth looked at me after I'd sent that letter, a look of pity, distrust, and weariness. There's a gulf of misunderstanding between musicians and their fans, and often so much desperation that the musician can't possibly assuage, rectify, or heal. You feel helpless and you feel guilty. With Sleater-Kinney fans, I tried to be generous, but I soon grew uneasy. For a long while, I could share nothing more than the music itself. I think I was too scared to be open with the fans because I knew how bottomless their need could be. How could I help if I was just like them? I was afraid I might not be able to lessen their pain or live up to their ideals. I'd be revealed as a fraud, unworthy and insubstantial. The disconnect between who I was on and off stage would be so pronounced as to be jarring. Me, so small, so unqualified. In the early years of Sleater-Kinney, we played at Seattle's Crocodile Cafe. Elizabeth was at the show. By then, 7-Year Bitch had broken up. She came up to me, complimented my guitar playing, and told me she loved the band. Elizabeth didn't recognize me as the girl who had gone over to her house that day or written her an overly earnest tell-all letter. I was relieved that music had done exactly what I had always wanted it to do, which was turn me into someone else.
So I thought that was like a really good passage. I actually remembered that from, that really stood out from the entire narrative of the book. I thought that passage was really good. And that it kind of not only demonstrates her writing ability, but it kind of conveys the intimacy of her, her narrative. She's not a maudlin writer. She's not overly sensitive, but the story is very intimate. And the way she talks about
It's a diary.
being from both sides of a fan and then eventually as a rock star. highly acclaimed rock star. I thought that was a really good passage. And obviously, the name of that podcast, we should give it credit, is Ideas at the House. It's an Australian podcast that Carrie appeared on in 2016. But I thought that was
They spent time in Australia, right? They recorded an
Yeah.
album there.
Yeah, they
I think they
started a
did.
band in Australia.
well.
Considering that, they don't seem to have had any Australian members, which
They
is
didn't.
interesting.
They didn't really begin the band in Australia.
They
Okay.
went to
Their
Australia.
first
did-
and
drummer.
started
they
the
did
Their
band.
first drummer was Australian.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think her name was Jan.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Eventually, they got a new drummer.
She says in the book, we went to Australia to start the band.
Okay.
Those are the words.
All right. But
Mhm.
okay. So Carrie is from Olympia, Washington, born September 27th, 1974.
Mm.
And she grew up there, and the book doesn't spend a over amount of time on her youth, but she did dabble in music. She was fans of like popular music at the time, Michael Jackson, the Go-Go's, not any kind of punk rock. You might think that she might have been into the Sex Pistols or something like that, but more pop music. But she did have kind of an epiphany when she saw Nirvana play, apparently at a gymnasium at some point in Seattle, the school gymnasium. So that was impactful. Her mother was.
Are we sure that wasn't just the "Smells Like Teen Spirit" video she saw?
I think it was the Smells Like. I don't know if she saw. I don't remember if she saw them
Oh.
or it was the video.
I
No,
thought
just
she said
joking,
she
but yeah.
saw- No, I thought
Yeah, she saw them. She saw them in a small venue.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's funny, Aaron.
I was
I get
just
it
making
now.
a silly joke.
That was a slow
Mhm.
burn right there. Like, yeah, that's right. The video was in a gymnasium.
That's right.
Yeah. But I think she actually did have this experience of seeing them in a gymnasium. But so that was impactful. She was she got to get her mother was anorexic. Her father was a lawyer, so she came from a point of intelligentsia, I guess, in that she eventually became she did some work like substitute teaching and things like that. It's not a surprise that she's creatively inclined or kind of thoughtful in her processes.
Yeah, and being a Libra in with parents who were somewhat disconnected,
Right.
that might have had an effect too.
Right.
Mhm.
But eventually she met
At least some emotional bitches.
Yep.
met her partner Corin Tucker.
Her
And,
musical partner.
well, she saw her performing with a band called Heavens to Betsy. And Corin and Carrie,
They just clicked.
they became not only musicians, not only bandmates, but very close. And
Well, they were in a relationship in the beginning.
Yeah.
right. They were in a relationship. Carrie is bisexual, and she had a relationship with Corin.
Mhm. Don't know if is Corin. Do we know if Corin
I-
is bisexual? I know
They
Corin later went
she-
the more traditional road and has
She married
She
Lance
married a
Bangs,
man.
right?
yeah.
Right. But that doesn't mean she's not,
Yeah,
fluid.
of course.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was ever if that was really disclosed or confirmed or denied or whatever in the book.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
But she and Corin, they had a short fling, if you will, but never a real like long-term relationship in the outside of the music.
Right.
yeah. But they definitely had a
Mhm.
connection.
Chicka bow bow.
Yeah. Sometimes you have such a profound connection in one area that you try to make
Yep.
a connection work in another, and it turns
And it
out
doesn't.
right.
Right. Sorry, I don't mean to run you over.
No, that's okay. No, that's called input. I don't consider that running over. Or interrupting. I consider that input.
Okay.
Some people
cool.
think it's interrupting.
Yeah. My interruption would be, oh, I can see the bananas warming up on the field next door.
All right.
Right.
All right. So, okay, so they're taking infield or doing something, warming up,
Yeah.
bag
Yep, they're
practice, something to do.
tossing balls around
I'm-
in the outfield, it looks like.
I'm
I've seen people swinging
imagining
bats.
actual bananas, like sunbathing and tossing balls to
Yeah.
each other.
Pretty much.
I'm imagining the bananas in baseball uniforms.
Yep, they're all in
Oh.
But I
yellow.
get it.
Yeah.
Bunch
Yeah.
of yellow wearing 9-year-olds.
Mhm.
Well,
Ah,
actually,
okay.
Austin's 8, but 9 and unders.
So
Gotcha.
what I liked about the book is that it is about the music. This
Yeah.
when you think about Carrie,
Very much so.
I've mentioned Portlandia.
Just off the top of my head, I liked Rent It Out.
Rent it out.
You rent out everything, anything, anyone.
Isn't that kind of like prostitution? During Brunch Village, when Tony and Candace were sort of trying to get everyone off of their, the front of their store.
Trespasser! Trespasser! Get off our property! This is a protest!
We're sorry that we had to do this, but we ask you kindly.
There's something about that felt very unified and fun and angry, but fun angry. Kath and Dave go to see an outdoor movie, and Carrie goes,
Come on, movie! Make it start!
it was something about it, the volume of it, that was really great.
You have a good singing voice. You sound great.
Celery, Battlestar Galactica, Dream of the 90s, the Truffaut homage in season 3.
And then there's this really weird moment where Fred and Carrie play Fred and Carrie in the mayor's office, and we're talking about the Olympics. And then we're trying to come up with a chant in front of the mayor.
No Olympics. No Olympics. No
Olympics.
Olympic.
Carrie does this really quick expression where she's just like this, that, I don't know, I really liked. Is that 5 already?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Did I just do 5?
That's good. Season 5.
Eventually she moved to Portland, and of course she knows the culture there, and the show's very subtle and comical about that city. But she barely touches on Portlandia at all, or her acting. It's all about the music.
Yeah.
I'm guessing she wrote the book before the show started.
I don't think so.
No? When did
I didn't
Portlandia
even
start?
look at the release date.
Portlandia.
The book was 2015, I think.
Right. We can barely.
Alexa,
I can
when
work
did
on
Portlandia start on TV?
the music thing, and music is not my
Portlandia, the
thing.
TV
so
show, premiered on January 11th, 2011.
Portlandia premiered on January 11th of 2011. Thank you, Alexa.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. Alexa does a lot for us.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it we like, others we're not sure about.
Agreed.
But the band was heavily. It was very much a grunge band. Sleater-Kinney was kind of a grunge band. Carrie says that it kind of came in at the end of grunge, kind of after the wave of Nirvana and Pearl Jam and Soundgarden. And,
kind of Riot Girl, post Riot Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of a latter day grunge band. But they were heavily influenced by bands like Bikini Kill, Rancid, Fugazi.
I love Bikini Kill. Kill.
Bikini Kill, right? Yeah, she
And I'm like not so patiently awaiting the release of Kathleen Hanna's book.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Catherine, so she's what was her role in Bikini Kill? Yeah.
Singer, guitar player.
Okay. And her biography is pending.
Yes.
Right.
I think it was supposed to be out this month or last month, but I believe it's pushed to May.
Ugh.
Okay.
So I'm impatiently waiting.
See, that's why when I'm expecting a new book, I absolutely refuse to find out when it's supposed to come out.
Did she like start a label after Bikini Kill?
I believe she did.
Yeah,
Or she was
that was
involved.
in the book, I think.
Who, Kathleen Hanna?
Yeah, I think she was
did.
touched on.
Yep. Love her. Love her. In fact, at work, we do this. Sorry to sidebar here. I know you're pressed for time, Aaron. We do this for my employee resource group.
Not a problem. It's not like there's a big plot to follow. It's just a memoir.
So our employee resource group, we do this. We have an intranet that's called the Hop. And on that intranet, each of the resource groups has their own page. So on our page, the Women's Impact Network page, we do this series that's called Unwell Behaved Women. And I'm currently editing and about to post our article on Kathleen Hanna.
Oh, excellent.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So there's a tie-in here for definitely for something you're actively involved in. So
yes,
that's great. So we picked the right. See, we booked the right guest at the right time.
Heckin' yeah.
A little footnote.
Yep.
So, well, as you mentioned, eventually, Corinne married a man named Lance Bangs and had children. And Carrie
He
doesn't.
said bangs.
Isn't that right?
He said bangs.
Yeah. You said bangs.
Joey Votto still bangs.
Right.
He bangs. He bangs.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, so that did create some tension in the band. Carrie even, she talks about it, that there was some tension there, caused by Corin. She'll correct you if you say, her name is Corin, and it's a easy pitfall to call her Corinne.
Glad you cleared that up because it was Corinne in my head through the whole book.
Right. This is one instance where if you do the audio book, it will set you straight. So.
Yeah.
On the version that you get.
Well, one that Carrie reads herself. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes, that's the one I did. I like to do these biographies or autobiographies in audio format because I feel like it tells such a richer story, especially when it's read by the author.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I usually don't do audiobooks, but if I found something read by like Kurt Vonnegut, I'd probably listen through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Aaron, you're a programmer, so you're finally attuned to being able to quickly scan. I'm not. I read every word deliberately, kind of slowly. That's why it takes me forever to get through a book. But
Yeah.
I've gathered this from you by the sheer number of books you read that you must really be tearing through those things. So
just kind of read them at speaking speed, I guess.
yeah. Thea, did you listen to Cat Williams on Rogan recently?
Yes.
Did you hear him say that he read something in the neighborhood of 20 books a week, or he went to the library every day? And
Yeah. But I
bits of
can't
books?
tell if Cat Williams was joking on that, if he was like setting up for some kind of joke, or if he was being serious. That was the only problem there.
Right. I couldn't tell either. I would have, I would not have been able to,
Unless you're like a legit speed reader, then you're not reading 20 books a day.
Yeah, well,
Or a week. I think it was a week.
A week.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, 20 books a week is
Still
a
a
lot.
lot.
That is a lot.
I mean, people are absolutely gobsmacked that I usually tend to read 5 books a week.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
People started posting about their Goodreads pages read in a year instead of books read in a year because they all vary in size.
Right.
Yeah.
You could be reading all the Dr. Seuss books. Sure, you could read 100 of those in a
Well,
week.
I mean, and the way Cat Williams was talking about it is he said it like they didn't have TV in the house. So that's what he did, is he just kept reading and reading and
Talking about
reading.
growing up. I thought he was saying he did that now.
No, it was talking to him growing up.
Oh, maybe he did read a lot. Kid-sized books. That's another story.
Don't know.
But
And I got the impression that it wasn't just children's books he was reading.
Yeah, I'm thinking like novels, reading
I don't know.
20 a week.
Don't know. That'd be worth looking into. But it was a really
During
interesting
the summer,
podcast.
I could have done that in a hot minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the time I was 10, I was reading full chapter, like adult size books.
Oh, sure.
Same here.
I was probably knocking out Hardy Boys books at a rate like not far from what Cat Williams is claiming.
Yeah, that's
fun fact. When I was in middle school, I did a book report on a Danielle Steele book called Message from Nam. I was about 11 or 12 years old. And my mom got called in for a conference because the teacher was like, this is highly inappropriate content for a child of your daughter's age to be reading. And bless my mom's heart, she said, well, if you would give her something that would actually challenge her intellect, maybe she wouldn't turn in a book report on a Danielle Steele book.
Right.
Yep.
I like your mom. That's my mom. Yeah. That's what I call, I don't know, would you call it a bear mom maybe, since it's Midwest instead of East? But yeah, that's a type of statement. I love it.
It's a cool mom.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I remember in sixth grade, I read the book The Bastard just because of its title.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mr. Leonard would have been proud of you, I'm sure.
I think I ended up reading the next 2 or 3 in the series. My mom had a bunch of them.
Yeah. Did Mr. Leonard remind you of Hunter Thompson?
Now that you mention it, yeah. I mean,
yeah, I could see him with a cigarette and the safari hat and all that bullshit.
And the whiskey.
Yeah, much less crazy though.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, not the temperament, but just the look of it.
Yeah, much more even tempered, much less likely to shoot something.
Right. But so the middle of the book very much dives into, in sequential order, the albums, talks about the music. Are you guys very familiar or fans of Sleater-Kinney to the point where you can discuss some?
Just a casual fan. My sons are more.
Yeah.
My sons are more into it. They play Sleater-Kinney pretty regularly.
Yeah, just
it's
a
in the
casual
mix
fan.
with it's in the mix with St. Vincent and all the others. They've been doing a lot of PJ Harvey lately too.
Ooh.
Oh, that's good. I like PJ Harvey.
When it's not all Nick Cave and
yeah.
Well, highly recommend. And if they're big fans of like PJ Harvey and Nick Cave and Johnette Napolitano, there is a version of the Ship song that features Nick Cave, PJ Harvey, Johnette Napolitano. It's a live version that is just stunning. If they haven't listened to it or if you haven't listened to it, you need to find it.
I think I have heard it. My favorite thing he plays with from Nick Cave, I'm not sure if PJ Harvey's on it or not. It's the Froggy Went a Courtin' song. I forget what they call it. It's got a really silly name. But we'll link to it in the show notes.
Yeah. But yeah, they were kind of like I kind of missed that whole grunge thing. I was definitely more into punk rock. Certainly like on the periphery, words are hard. That word of my musical repertoire, as a teen and whatnot. I did spend some more time listening to them while I listened to this book. And I really like them. I really like them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they're very highly, especially Rolling Stone, which is not everyone's bag, right? But
sure.
Rolling Stone really loves Sleater-Kinney. I mean, legendary music critic Grail Marcus even dubbed Sleater-Kinney as America's best rock band. I mean, that's quite a statement.
Yeah.
I mean,
well.
I found the silly Nick Cave title, by the way.
What was it?
King Kong Kitschy Kitschy. Kimio.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway.
Kong or Hing Kong?
King. King,
gorilla,
right? Yeah.
King Kong. Kitschy Kitschy, Kitchie twice. And then I think it's Kimie O. On King Kong Kitschy, you'll probably find it. Nick Cave.
Ooh, ooh, ah, ah, bing, bang, blah, 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 bing, bang.
Yeah.
I love
my friend, the witch doctor, he taught me what to say.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what that made me, that reminded me of as you said it.
I love
it goes King Kong Kitschy Kitschy Kimio. King Kong Kitschy Kitschy Kimio. Froggy one court and he did right.
Yes, and his accent totally comes out in it.
It is hilarious.
So,
Yeah.
well, Nick Cave and PJ Harvey, were they married? I know they were at least a couple, right?
They were a couple.
I think they were a couple. I don't know that they were married.
From what Lars says, he wouldn't give up heroin and she left him.
Yeah. That's right.
Is he still with us?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Did he give up heroin?
I believe he's sober now.
Maybe.
I cannot say that with authority, but I believe he might be sober.
Yeah. I don't have access to Lars at the moment.
After a certain amount of time, you either
Right.
stop or die.
He'd probably be dead if he wasn't, not to be so,
So hopefully he
cut dry
won't
about
have
it,
to
but-
join that let's try it one last time club.
Right. That's when that's when it's trouble, right? Because
Right. That's when you because you can't get enough because your body wants that old high dose, but it's not used to it.
Yeah. Well, if you've seen Peaky Blinders,
Chasing that high.
Red Right Hand. I love that song. That's good.
Peaky Blinders features Red Right Hand, and it's
Oh, yeah.
Have you
I need to
seen-
go back and watch that. No, I need to go back and watch
good.
that, but I love that song.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I didn't.
This
care
is the
for
Lars
doing
episode,
that.
man. He loves Peaky Blinders too.
Oh,
Yeah.
does he?
Yeah.
He can do
I
Peaky
didn't
Blinders.
love Peaky Blinders' very last
Yeah.
episode, but we would.
He loves
love-
all this stuff, but he hates talking on a microphone.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
I don't talk on a microphone. Does he know that he doesn't necessarily have to talk on a microphone?
right.
He hates talking to people in
Oh.
public
Yeah.
forums.
Well, he technically wouldn't be. I mean, he would
Even
be
in
talking to a
private forums,
device.
he's not a big talker. You have to get kind of
Well,
close and he'll mumble at you.
Meh,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. Aaron is imparting his his ideas to us anyway, so that's cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So okay. So in addition to that, Rolling Stone also named Carrie she was the only woman in their list of the 25 most underrated guitarists of all time in 2006. So there
Interesting.
again, you may not be a fan of Rolling Stone, but they're a fan of Sleater-Kinney, no doubt about it. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's allowed to have their opinions. That's true. I think
Right.
she's good. I think she's good. I think she's very good, but I definitely would not compare her to anyway, that I digress.
Well,
I'd say that she and St. Vincent are both very good, probably underrated guitarists.
Yes, I wouldn't say one of the greatest of all times though.
No.
Well, and that's not what he was saying. He's just saying.
They said most underrated.
Most underrated.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed that part.
However,
Yeah, no, that's okay.
I do think they're in their latest ranking. They had Liz Phair somewhere like 24 or something like that of all time. It's like I don't know about.
I love Liz Phair, but
They're
that seems
trying
awfully high.
I do like
Yeah.
it.
Do you think they're trying to kind of reverse misogyny the situation?
I don't know. Yeah, who knows? But that's
Are there any women higher on the list than Liz Phair? I would think probably.
There should be.
Bonnie Raitt on there or something.
Bonnie Raitt should be in there.
I don't have the list in front of me.
Yeah. So
Samantha Fish
just
should
questions
be
to
in
ponder.
there.
I didn't really demand answers.
Yeah, that's a good question, though. I mean,
Hold on, what was the name of the list?
Aranthi.
Rolling
Sorry.
Stone, top
Don't get me started.
100 guitarists of all time.
Rolling Stone's top 100 guitarists of all time.
It's the Alexa show.
I'm sure.
Well, no, I'm doing Google.
CJ Plain would have an opinion on it. I'm sure he might be able to help us on that too. But,
All right.
Yeah, did nobody hit him up for this? He would have been a good one on this one.
I should have. I didn't think to. No,
I think we should try to just a little bit of housekeeping advice in the middle of an episode. I think that we should definitely try to include CJ on some of these music ones. I think he would definitely add some color
Oh yeah, he's really good.
and insight. He's very smart when it comes to music.
Right. Yes, he is. I was just on his show recently to do NFL quarterbacks, top
Oh,
the but that's
yay, sports
I
ball.
concur that he would be a great guest, but I didn't think of him because this is the book club and it just wasn't.
Understood.
Yeah.
Just a mental note for later.
Yep. So it was interesting that you brought up the point that you made because okay, Sleater-Kinney, when you look up Riot Girl on the internet, bikini, we talked about
Bikini Kills. Yep.
Bikini Kill, but this band is also right there at the top of the Riot Girl movement, Sleater-Kinney.
I think that those lines get blurred a lot right there, and it makes sense. I can agree with that.
Yeah. I think that Carrie has a problem with it. No artist really likes to be labeled. So
Nope.
Points in the book where she kind of backs off from that. But then I've seen other quotes where she's braces it a little bit more. But I mean, it's very much a feminist band. Both Corin and Carrie are definitely feminist, and when you watch Portlandia and her sense of humor, that definitely comes out in that in spades. But some of the song, just to break down some of the music, like I said, I'm not a huge fan. I don't think anybody here has really got a heavy rotation of Sleater-Kinney on their on their iPod or their iPhone.
When my kids do the dishes, it comes on pretty frequently. But
does it?
I added them to my Riot
I
Girl.
usually guess when I don't know who it is. I'll throw somebody out there, and I can always tell Sleater-Kinney.
Right.
I added them to my Riot Girl playlist.
PJ Harvey is 49 on the 250 list. Sent out
Oh,
3.
Nice.
49 on the guitar player list or the singer list?
The guitar player.
Okay.
Frank Zappa is 46. You guys keep talking music and I'll look at this
So
list.
Frank Zappa's below Liz Phair on the list.
I'm still looking. Johnny Ramone, 44.
I can't speak to Frank Zappa's guitar playing. That avant-garde stuff is a little much for me. Maybe I'm just not enlightened enough to get it.
Oh boy. There's a hot topic.
I'm just saying. I'm not trying to start a war here,
It is not for
Aaron.
everybody, and it's not a hot topic.
I know.
I am not trying to start a war, Aaron.
You're not going to convert anybody to Frank Zappa that does not dig Frank Zappa or Fish.
One of these days, we're trying to get you hot under the collar. We're trying to figure out how. It's taken 30 years now, but we're going to figure it out someday.
Get me hot under the collar?
We're going to hit a hot wire at some point.
Oh, I know how. I can tell you.
Aaron,
I will 34.
Aaron, I will say this. On artists that I have issue with or I just don't understand the greatness of, in the last few years, I finally learned just how good Led Zeppelin really is as a band. I have always been a Jimmy Page fan, but I couldn't stand Robert Plant until I saw him on an episode of Brian Johnson's A Life on the Road. And I decided and learned that Robert Plant is the quirky, weird grandfather that none of us deserve or none of us knew we needed.
Robert Plant's the best.
He's really cool. So,
as Frank Zappa refers to him in one of the songs, Robert Planet. When they're imitating groupies.
The moral of this story is I went back and listened to some Led Zeppelin. I don't think they're the greatest band of all time, but I do see their goodness and their impact, and I do have a playlist of some songs that I enjoy. That being said, when there is an artist that I just don't get or was like, or whatever, I revisit them every now and again, because that was a huge lesson for me when it came to Led Zeppelin, who I still think is really kind of a big karaoke band in a lot of ways, just because they ripped so much of their music off from other things. But I digress.
Yeah.
That being
Jimmy
said,
Page
I do
ripped
go
off
back.
a lot of music.
I think
he did.
I think that's fair to say. I mean, but don't you feel like Plant is
so did Elvis.
He seems to be somewhat embarrassed by his image from that era. It seems to me.
I think so.
Like he really wants
I'm actually considering going to see Robert Plant and Alison Krauss in Colorado Springs this summer.
I saw
just
them.
because
I saw them last summer. It was awesome.
I feel like I should. I really want to. I enjoy them together, and I feel like it would be a good opportunity. And the tickets are not a complete butt raping price, because I am still big angry at Stevie Nicks and paying $570 something for three nosebleed seats. Yeah, so I have a hard line
I could see Fish at the Sphere for that.
Yeah, so I'm like very angry, and that's like caused me to have like a hard line when it comes to shows. I laid it out this time because it's Stevie Nicks, and I feel like this might very well be the last tour, even though she claims she's going to die on stage. But that being said, it's caused me to lay a hard line on ticket prices. If it's more than $150, including ticket Nazi fees, I'm not doing it. But anyway, I am going to go see Robert. I do want to go see Robert Plant and Alison Krauss. But the long and the short of that story is I don't give up on artists. Fish, I still can't understand, but I try every now and again. But I try not to marsh somebody else's mellow.
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
But
Anyway, sorry.
Like it seems like a live band. It's like you probably you might have a really good time at a Fish show, but to follow it the way some of their fans do.
Yeah, I saw them live before I'd ever heard them.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you,
are really good. I mean, some of their covers are better than the originals, I think, but not all of them.
I will say this: being a person who comes from like a punk rock background, so a lot of my music, I get bored if the song is too long, because punk rock is like, don't bore us, get to the chorus. And if a song is longer than 3 minutes, then it may as well be a classic rock jam song. But I did learn a lesson last summer when I went and saw The Cure, which was absolutely amazing and a life-changing show. It was the one and only time I ever got to see The Cure. I will say that The Cure is really just the Grateful Dead for goths.
Yeah, I saw them in the 90s. They were all wearing
They're a
hockey
jam
sweaters.
band.
Yeah.
They are a jam band.
They weren't in the 90s. They were a jukebox, but it was good.
A lot of their music is very jammy.
Yeah.
I was so surprised with that.
That was the biggest tour of the summer last year, I think, just about.
It was so incredible. And universe bless Saint Robert Smith, granddaddy goth and protector of the fans and warrior fighter against Ticketmaster for everything that man did on Ticketmaster's Ticket Nazis fees and scalpers. He actually got Ticketmaster to refund partial fees to people when he found out that fans were being charged all these stupid fees after The Cure put some regulations and limits on stuff when it came to the tickets. And then after that happened, he found out how many of those tickets ended up going to scalpers. He canceled all of those scalper tickets, donated the money to Amnesty International, and then re-released the tickets to fans.
Sweet.
Ticketmaster pissed off the wrong goth. I'm just saying.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, well,
it was just amazing.
When we go to get concert tickets, I want us to go to the box office. I don't want to use Ticketmaster. I hate Ticketmaster. They're evil.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you just can't all the time these days.
Right. We learned that the hard way. Well, we thought we were going to get tickets for Willie Nelson by going to the box office. And we found out they're not open when we're available.
Right.
So it's like
literally
they're
only open from 11 to 3 Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and that's when he's at work.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's a drive to get to the place where we wanted to get the tickets. And the only reason he was willing to do that drive was because the tickets were already like $100.
Well, no,
which not bad.
We got a good deal. We got a good deal on it.
Yeah, we did get a really good deal. But the tickets, when we first looked into it, were $100 before Ticketmaster adds on its special brand of gravy.
I mean, there's so many good shows that are coming here now because of the Brady Center.
Right, right.
It's like we had Primus was coming, I think. It might have been Les Claypool or Primus one, I don't know if it was.
Yeah.
But we had Steve Vai There's another, Pixies are coming again. We're going to go see Social Distortion and Bad Religion, which I know Thea is going to see.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
I was, but like I slept too long on the Social D tickets. Yeah, and none of the seats that I want are available anymore. So I'm probably not going to see them on that. And Bad Religion's not coming through here solo. And their co-headlining tour isn't hitting anywhere in Colorado.
But
that sucks.
But it's just cool to have a venue like that. We didn't have a venue like that, really. I mean, we had
that kind
we had
of
smaller
the venue
clubs
that
and
fits
stuff.
That we had smaller clubs, and then we had way bigger, but not like the in between.
Well, and the big acts.
So the Andrew J. Brady Center covers all kinds of different things. Like, for instance, I went there to see RuPaul, or one of the RuPaul shows. Yeah,
that's great.
Well, I'm going to list a couple of the songs that I really like from Sleater-Kinney. Of course, I like Modern Girl, and that's where the title of the book, Hunger Makes Me a Modern Girl, that line comes from the song Modern Girl. That's a really nice song. And also, I like Dig Me Out. That was really good. Also, One Beat. Just a few, songs that I sampled while I was listening to this. Let's see. Hurry on Home. These are on this playlist I've been listening to. Bury Our Friends. They're still actively. They just released an album last year, actually, and they were on Rick. Corin and Carrie were on Off the Record with Rick Rubin discussing that.
Yep. That was a really great show.
Yeah. I really like, I don't know. I can't say that I identify with her, but I don't know. I feel like her demeanor is somewhat similar to my own, and that she's not real melancholy, but she's got a kind of an even temper. I just like her temperament or whatever. I like the way, that comes through in her writing and stuff.
Oh, Carrie? Yeah.
Yeah.
This show.
She just seems like a really cool, I can see why she is I don't want to say role model, but the girls especially like
up to
her voice, like what she speaks out for and stuff.
Yeah. I will say this, the one thing in the book that absolutely just like ugly tears had me crying, like just broke my heart, was at the end of it when the band went on hiatus because Corin was having family and stuff like that. When she went into student teaching, and then she ended up volunteering at the Humane Society and all the animals that she adopted. The story she told about coming home and finding, her cat killed. I mean, it was just that about broke my heart. And she didn't tell it in a grotesque way or anything, just in the absolutely, vulnerable and brutally honest way she told it. It just like, got me.
Like she tried to partition them. I guess she knew, she had adopted all these pets. She, like you said, she'd worked at the Humane Society. She knew that there was that they weren't
friends.
Yeah, but that would have been devastating. I'm sure she felt like she had some, responsibility.
That just got me. Oh, of all the things she told in that dang book, that got me.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't touch on her.
That was the harsh part.
Go ahead.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lise.
No, I didn't have a full form thought there. So
okay. We didn't touch on her kind of, I don't know if she was a full-on hypochondriac, but she was like a pseudo hypochondriac.
Yeah. Well, she had all kinds
I don't know if it's just hypochondria, but it seems like she legitimately has stress reactions all the time.
Oh yeah, the
Have
shingles
physical
thing.
manifestations.
Right.
Yeah. Oof.
Bad back, shingles.
Probably, she probably physically internalizes stress.
Yeah. But like
Yeah.
talk about relatable, because how many times have any of us, like at some point in our lives, we've felt that way or done that or something, you know? Talk about relatable is what I mean.
Right.
Well, that's why the meditation, decompression, withdrawing.
Mhm.
I mean, I do that Libra withdrawal thing, but that's part
Yeah.
ADHD, part Libra. So,
Yeah.
you
I do
know,
that too.
I've learned to do that,
Yes.
to do it
But
on
yeah,
purpose.
I wanted to make sure we at least talked on that because that was an important part of the entire story too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, all the times when she would get sick on the road and that
Yep.
was, you know, and it would get better because she de-stressed. Was it because she was lifting heavy instruments, or was it an emotional reaction to, you know, internalizing emotions,
Right.
You
or
claim
both?
you think that I have what?
Anxiety.
No,
Oh, eczema. You
eczema.
definitely have eczema.
Yeah.
The doctor, the dermatologist told you have eczema.
Did I actually see a dermat? I don't remember seeing a dermatologist.
Okay, fine. I'll send you to a dermatologist.
I've heard it. I've heard it for
I'll
a long
send
time.
you to my
That
That's
was
dermatologist.
manipulative
She's
right there.
amazing.
Now you're going to the dermatologist, dude.
Yep.
You are.
Well played, Lisa. Well
I'm only going
played.
to
That
the
was
ophthalmologist.
master level.
Well, that's Dr.
Optometrist,
Warm
whatever.
making you go to the optometrist.
Yeah.
That's like, yeah, it's like some people making trades in our league.
I will send Dr. Warm a message saying, tell Philip to see a dermatologist.
Well played, Lisa. That was master level wifery right there.
But
30 years.
But that is like that would be brought on by stress, and
Yeah.
that's the implication.
Yeah, eczema is brought on by stress. His mother had eczema,
Mhm.
and hers started when her husband went to Korea. So during time of war, mind you.
I mean, so you know, there's several big albums
Was
that
it ever a war? I heard it was just a conflict.
it was a police action.
I refuse to believe the government's labeling
Um,
for anything, let alone
the
police actions.
the Hot Rock, Little Rope, Call the Doctor. They have quite a few albums. Like I said, they're still active up until today. Let's see.
Yeah, they never really broke up. They just went on hiatuses.
Yeah.
Which I think bands should do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think they should take breaks. That's one of the things that broke up the Beatles. No one was willing to let them take a break and do their own thing, so they just left.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you're not going to let us do what we want, we quit.
Yeah.
The only points I wanted to bring up, you know, from the book was their encounters with other, you know, rock stars, like Eddie Vedder.
Yes. Eddie was a huge supporter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, when they thought they
he
were
opened for them, right?
Yes.
Yeah. When he when they thought they were doing their last show, apparently Eddie introduced them. And I have it written down. He said he lamented.
Carrie came around on Pearl Jam like Thea came around on Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He lamented that he'd never seen the Beatles, but was fortunate to have seen Sleater-Kinney. So that was a nice intro for them for their last show. Also, the incident with Jack White. Apparently, they were partying, or you know, they were going to a party. Jack White was in their entourage.
Opening for the White Stripes were opening for them. Jack White and Carrie Brownstein, and I don't know if other people decided to go to this party they were invited to.
Yeah, and they were denied access to the party because they were told it was full, and
by these idiot frat boys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah. So
The assigned bouncer.
Yeah,
The Velvet Roper.
So Carrie was amused that they may not have realized they were denying access to, you know, a couple pretty prominent rock stars at the time.
And what she said in the book was that she wonders to this day if they realized they had turned away Jack White.
Right.
Yeah. That was a funny story.
Yeah.
Right.
But
So
for me, that would be one of those things. If it was me who had done that, I'd be telling that story as, yeah, I turned away Jack White before he was Jack White.
Yeah.
oh, here's another thing. They played Woodstock 99. Sleater-Kinney did.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And that was like the toxic masculinity fest of the ages. You know, it was like all these frat boys.
Oh, yeah.
And there was all kinds of, shit going on down. And Fred Durst of Limp Bizkit was encouraging it. Kid Rock was encouraging, all kinds of shit going on. They were burning cars. I mean, it was spun out of control. But people were walking around T-shirts that said, "Show me your,"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
You can
Sleater-Kinney
say kids.
had their own T-shirts that says "Show me your riffs." So that was kind of
Yep.
the feminist response to the
Stupidity.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
kind of what they stood for. So, all right. Anybody else have some notes they wanted to dump on us?
No, I've just kind of tossed them out as they've come to mind. But I really enjoyed this one. I think we should do music autobiographies more.
Yeah,
Right,
I think
agree.
she's really intelligent, and that comes through in her writing. But
Yeah.
I noticed like she has a tendency to use the same big words over and over again. Like she used the word quotidian like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, yes.
In a weird way. Because that's supposed to mean like a daily event, and she meant it to mean like the humdrum, the everyday, which
Well,
kind of punny and cool. But she kept doing it, which was kind of nutty.
maybe that's just how
There's a few other things. Yeah, I think it just maybe needed a little more editing. But she is a very good writer, and I liked her voice.
Yes.
And it was a good book.
Yeah, and a lot of people would have had to look that word up.
Yeah.
So if they bothered, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would like to see another one, because a lot has happened since then. The pandemic. She lost her mother and stepfather, who was integral to this book. Actually, Hunger Makes Me a Modern Girl. That kind of also references her mother's condition.
Yeah.
Her mother was killed with her stepfather in a car wreck in France just years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's got to be an emotional conflict situation.
Yeah.
Because of their I wonder, did they become closer over time? It feels like she didn't really sometimes it feels like she sought society with others because she had no real society with her family.
Yeah. I'd like to hear more about Portlandia, of course. I like Fred Armissen. I think he's really funny. He's a big part of that show.
He's also a good musician.
He's a great musician.
Yes.
Did a segment
my
on the
walker.
Tonight Show. The Tonight Show where he did the history of punk rock from
that's a good bit that he did.
Yeah.
From 1970 to 2000. This is something like Velvet Underground was kind of like going down the boulevard with the flower, driving like I just wanna watch TV. My baby's giving me a lobotomy. Then in England, like 1977, same kind of thing, but like a little more angular and sort of like. Don't go to the ambulance. Don't go to the ambulance. Like post-punk, they sort of like didn't do chords that much at all. It was a little bit more like. I am a neon light. Like punk, it was kind of like. Yeah. Candlelight you remember like the early 90s, like a little ska thing happening? And very playful, kind of like...
Yep.
Your mom and dad were the best you ever had. Seattle, Pacific Northwest, they did a lot of octaves, like kind of like halftime, like. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's also he's the house drummer for Seth Meyers' show whenever he's in town. When he's not in town, they have a rotating cast of famous drummers that come in for a week.
And she and Fred are like apparently really close, like super close, like soulmates. But they're not, they're not romantically involved. I saw an interview that they did with Larry King that was really kind of charming, because King was like trying to suggest, hey, you got, are you sure you two aren't a couple, and they just kind of laugh. But it's a funny interview, because he would not relent on that. He just kept saying he felt like that he's playing matchmaker or something. Like if they hadn't considered it, he was going to get them together or something like that.
That's
really
funny.
You have a steady boyfriend?
No.
None.
No, I don't.
Do you have a girlfriend?
No, I'm single.
So wait a second. You're both single.
Yeah.
You both get along great. You love her music. You love his comedy.
But we have such a great thing. We see each other all the time. We get to work together, and this works. This friendship works.
So if she came home and said to you, not home, you're not living together, Fred, I met this guy. I'm crazy about him. You'd be happy.
Yeah, absolutely. I want her to be happy.
Would you be happy?
Carrie, I want you to be happy.
I want you to be happy.
I really, really do. And
I think they're faking it, folks.
Wow.
I think they're sleeping together. I think they're living together. I think this is a farce.
Yes.
But it works. In interviews, it works. It's nice. The friendship, baloney, you're obviously attracted to each other. You have a great feeling.
Yeah. So.
Trying to see who's warming up to pitch. It's not Austin. Okay.
Right. The bell is ringing. It's time for first pitch. So why don't we go ahead and close it out? And Thea, why don't you tell us what's going on with Rock and Roll Heaven?
We've got, I think there's one or two more episodes on, oh goodness, brain fart in his name right now.
Graham Parsons.
Graham Parsons, that's it. Thank you. One or two more episodes on Graham Parsons, and then we're getting ready to start a new series. But yeah, still going, still doing it.
All right. Well, that's our favorite podcast.
Rock and Roll Heaven podcast. Yep.
Mine's over there. All right. Well, so until we meet again.
Absolutely.
We have
Thanks,
social.
everybody.
Twitter.
Yeah, pod.
Instagram.
Yeah, pod.
Facebook.
Yeah, pod. So let us know. Hit us back. Have a great week.